Is back, coming to you live with the Keir Starmer ID card scandal that is going on at the moment. Please tune in for this. Start commenting. I will read the comments at the end of this this live stream. Let's do this.
Street switch authority.
So yes, we're back. This is Keir Starmer live, now actually going to tell us exactly what it is, what he wants to do with these ID cards. I said I'd do a live on it. Let me just grab my coffee. Go and pause this video, grab yourselves a cup of coffee or a cup of tea, because this is going to be very, very interesting. I'm going to be putting on my live chat as I actually do this, so you'll just have to excuse me for 1 second while I set my phone up. That should be it. There we go. I'm just going to turn it down. I don't want to hear me in the background. We've got one person watching. Great. But anyway, yeah, this is the Keir Starmer live feed. Let's go and listen to what it is and what bullshit he's going to spout about these ID cards.
That introduction. Thank you to all of you here for joining us today. And can I take this early opportunity to thank all of those that work behind the scenes to bring this event together and allow us this opportunity to discuss. So thank you very much to them. Now, this is a gathering of people bound by a common cause. The patriotic renewal of our nations that is underpinned by the values of dignity and respect, equality and fairness, and the belief that social democratic means are the best way to pursue that goal. But it's also a room that puts paid to a story we often hear in the press these days, that somehow our politics is dying out.
That's because it is, you twat. Keir Starmer is a wanker.
Now, yes, we are in an era of huge challenge, but we can take heart when we look around the world. In fact, we only need to look around this room. Kristrún from Iceland, Pedro from Spain, Mark Carney, who stormed to victory in Canada.
Voigtlander from the Ukraine. 2 14-year-olds sat in the front row here. How's that sound?
At the beginning of this year, followed by Albo in Australia and Akon Jonas in Norway just a few weeks ago. So in fact, pitted against our right wing.
Now I just want everybody to bear in mind that this is a pathological liar that is on the microphone on the world stage in Great Britain at the moment, who's going to tell us we need digital ID cards. Everything that this man actually says is lies. Nothing but lies. He is a pathological, psychotic liar.
Wing opponents, I'd say centre-left parties are having quite a year so far. And not forgetting, there is...
Lap it up, Keir.
Good morning, Pedro. We're just hailing you being here, but not forgetting, of course, the Labour Party's victory in July of last year, getting a landslide victory here in the United Kingdom. So,
yeah, how's that going for you, Keir? How's that actually going, considering we've had a poll out this morning saying that Reform have actually more than surged ahead? You are the most unpopular man in Great Britain in history, because there's a saying, Keir Starmer's a wanker. Because that's what you are, you fucking tool.
I'm sorry, I don't accept that argument.
At this rate, it's probably going to be more like 40. Okay, no, way too long.
Seconds.
Let's see how much you're spending. Download an app called Rocket Money.
Oh, wow.
It's now time for Social Democrats to confront directly some of the challenges and some of the lies, frankly, that have taken root in our societies.
Lies? You're the one that's put out the lies, you lying twat, you pathological psychopath.
Because we don't just hear these stories about our politics, we also hear stories about our great countries.
Yeah, and they're only stories, Keir. You know what a story is? You know when your dad used to come home from work and sit on the bottom of your bed and tell you how Howard made a tool that day? He was talking about just before you were born.
Our communities, our cities,
free the sausages,
do not match the reality that we see around us. And it's very good to have you here in London. I hope you've enjoyed yourself here in our capital city. Maybe gone out for breakfast this morning.
That has the highest crime rates since records began under Sadiq Khan because he's the mayor.
Popped into the pub for a pint last night. Maybe.
I didn't think you were allowed in pubs, Keir. I thought you were banned from most of them, weren't you?
Enjoyed the last rays of sunshine in our beautiful parks. And if you have done any of those things or other brilliant things in London, you may have noticed that this city isn't the wasteland of anarchy that's...
What a twat!
Some would have you believe. But
that's because you don't tend to go out on the streets in London, Keir, and neither does Sadiq Khan through fear of being attacked. Now, I can't think why that would be, can you? Considering there's protests in London outside 10 Downing Street every single day.
But that, in a sense, captures what we're up against, doesn't it? And there are versions in all of your countries where places, institutions, communities are portrayed in a way that is a million miles from reality. A sort of industrialised infrastructure.
Your party is a million miles away from reality if you think that you're going to be putting these ID cards on people that do not want them. The country has spoken. There's a petition online that's nearly at 1 million.
Of grievance. An entire world, not just a world view, created through our devices that is miserable, joyless, and demonstrably...
He says a world view. So you're telling me every single country isn't going to have a different opinion on politics, and this is the secular society that we talk about a world view. You are so full of shit, it's coming out your nose and ears, my friend.
Untrue.
They're not untrue.
In another way, and this is the challenge, also totally cohesive, because it preys on real problems.
The government have absolutely no cohesive discourse whatsoever. They do not listen. They do not live in the real world. They do not live in everyday society. This man, again, I will say it again, he is a pathological liar. He has not stuck to one single thing in his manifesto. Not one. And now he's going to try and announce that these ID cards are going to be put into the manifesto all of a sudden. So we've all got to have these ID cards so they can control every aspect of our lives. Because believe me, they will. They will weaponise it. They will weaponise it to the absolute fucking hilt.
In the real world, identifies clear enemies. That's us, by the way. And at its heart, its most poisonous belief, and this was on full display here in London just under 2 weeks ago, that there's a coming struggle, a defining struggle.
Is he talking about the 16th, or what was it, the Tommy Robinson thing? I wonder how many times he's going to say far right.
A violent struggle for the nation, for all of our nations.
So where is this violent struggle at patriots, normal families, working class families, middle class families holding the Union Jack and the St George's flag, marching through the centre of London, and that's the fight you are fighting? Are you fucking serious? You are mental, mate. You absolute, complete and utter fruitcake. You are a Brussels sprout short of a good old English Sunday lunch.
And you don't have to be a great historian to know where that kind of poison ends up. And you can just feel it in a language that is naked in its attempt to intimidate. Because it's not careless or accidental. It's part of a strategy. They want politics to be a choice between globalists and nationalists, to draw a dividing line between the elites and the people, in which somehow our rich story of patriotism and pride...
You have not got one single patriot hair on your fucking head. This is the man that went over to the Ukraine back when he was at university and basically accused of being a KGB spy, basically. This is the man that protected Jimmy Savile through the Human Rights Act. This is the man that somebody tried to firebomb his house, 2 Ukrainian boys that were models because he was dry bumming them.
Our common cause with working people, our deep roots in the trade union movement in our communities, the desire and demand of working people for a voice in their future is claimed by those who have nothing in common with them or their values. Only a cynical...
With you, you mean? They've got nothing in common with you. So what you're trying to say is the whole country has got fuck all common with you, Keir Starmer. Why do you think every single person on them streets that went to that protest were shouting, Keir Starmer's a wanker?
Intent to exploit their fears to benefit themselves. That is what we're up against. So we must show our politics resolutely opposed to a status quo that doesn't deliver for working people. The worst thing we can do is to defend the status quo. It hasn't worked for working people. We must be determined to deliver change in their interest.
Oh, he's fucking building this up, ain't he? He's really trying. I've got to give him that. Here comes that absolute massive clog of verbal diarrhea out of such a person's mouth.
Patriotic renewal, rooted in our own national stories, restoring pride where people live and work. We fight for our values, decency, tolerance, respect.
The thing is, we've got too much tolerance of young girls being raped on the streets of Britain by migrants. I'm not saying all migrants, I never said that before anybody says anything in the comments, but when you've got somebody from Epping that turned around and said that British are too harsh on people like this. This is somebody from the Migrant Hotel, an Ethiopian that's recently been done for a sexual abuse of a child. And we're going to listen to him, this guy here, that's on my screen right now, in front of us. Despicable, disgusting individual.
And most importantly, we focus on the countries we can become through renewal. National renewal. Now, that's not a new argument for social democrats, but it is the beating heart of our politics, the nation state, harnessing the potential of the whole country, providing security and opportunity for working people, together squaring up to the challenges of a world that is frankly more dangerous, less secure than many of us have known in our lifetimes. We have to respond to that, not by turning inward, but with even deeper solidarity, alliances and partnerships built upon common values, the rules-based order that has kept the peace.
So for anybody that's just joined us, this is Keir Starmer announcing the new digital IDs known as the Brit card that will be taking over everybody's life. He's going to make it mandatory that you have an app on your phone so he knows what you bought for breakfast, where you've been, how much you've got in your bank, where you live, your medical records, everything about you. This guy and this government want to know so they can control you. There will be probably, now this is speculation, but it will probably more than likely happen, a credit social scoring system. So if you say anything bad about the government, they can shut you down.
In our world since the last century, the coalition of the willing, strong, not just because of the depth of our shared belief.
Now I'm going to make a sportsman's bet, which means there is no money involved. Basically, Keir Starmer is going to try and use immigration to try and implement these ID cards. Remember, this is live, I haven't seen it. This is the bullshit he's going to tell Great Britain.
Leaves, but because we recognise that the security and safety of the people that we serve depends on our relationships, our willingness to stand up together across our different political traditions and not be cowed by tyranny. But to protect strength abroad, you do need security.
We don't live abroad, you tool.
Economic stability an approach to economic growth that can create wealth more fairly in the first place. Proud working class towns and cities, so often disenchanted with mainstream politics because the economy does not work for them.
Yeah, how's the economy going for you at the minute, Keir? How's that actually working out for you, considering when Tories were in, it was actually doing okay, and now since Rachel Thieves has got hold of it, how's the economy doing? It's not doing quite so well as you're making it out to, is it? So yet another fucking lie.
And because that's been true for a very long time. And they're losing trust in our ability to deliver the change that they want to see. They don't want handouts or help. They want to stand on their own feet. I'll give you an example from the United Kingdom. Yesterday, we announced £5 billion to be spent by local...
They say it's what's on the inside that matters.
A pub, reviving a community hall, reopening a youth club. But the important thing is not coming cap in hand to Whitehall to get the green light on a project, but actually allowing control to be with the communities where the funding is going, so they can choose what it's spent on, because those with skin in the game know what's best for their communities. It's about restoring control.
How dare you use a phrase like skin in the game? Are you going to start wearing a cap backwards and saying in it next?
An agency. Having the respect for working people to choose what's right for them. And that is how they stand proudly as partners in a social democratic nation. So our approach to the economy, investment, yes, of course, in everything from defence to energy, creating good, well-paid jobs. Industrial policy, yes, of course. Our proud heritage of making things, relighting the fires and the factories across the country. In public services, absolutely, for all of us, from healthcare to transport. And financial prudence, which is non-negotiable. But it does also mean stripping out regulation so we can build more and build more quickly. And the private sector can create wealth in every community. Now, some people call this approach abundance. I have a different phrase for it. Social democracy. But the way I see it, this is the defining political choice of our times. A politics of predatory grievance, preying on the problems of working people, and using...
Shout out to Chrissy boy. I'm going okay, mate. Bit full of cold, but just watching this idiot, as you can see on the screen there, Keir Starmer trying to use immigration for implementing new ID cards to people across Britain and making it mandatory. Watch this space.
That infrastructure of division against the politics of patriotic renewal, rooted in communities, building a better country, brick by brick from the bottom up, including everyone in the national story.
He used his favourite word, bottom.
Difference under the same flag. Because wherever you are in the world, we all have our different national symbols. And what I'll say is this: we must fight for them. Stand up to those who tell us that there's a tension between our symbols of pride and symbols of inclusion, our multi-ethnic modern nation and our history.
What he's talking about is secular society, diversity and inclusion, basically not living in the real world. A good example would be the LGBTQ4K. This is coming from a gentleman that doesn't even know that a woman cannot have a penis, that a bloke cannot get pregnant. They are simple biological facts, and this man doesn't know the difference. He also seems to think that secular society or socialism has actually worked somewhere else in this imaginary world that he lives in, and it has never worked. It has been tried. There's been several experiments of where it has ended extremely violently for some of these other countries. We don't want that here. We don't want it, Keir. Go home, go back to your mum's teat and feed off there while your dad's at work making another tool just like you.
And heritage. There is not. They are one and the same thing. That's the social democratic argument. It is a powerful one, and we must never surrender it.
You already have.
But of course you need more than symbols for nation building. You also need renewal. And it's important to be really clear on this.
Now, this was tagged as supposed to have been a patriotic speech, because what is as patriotic speech, what he's actually done is use the word patriot twice, and that's what makes it like, you know, patriotic. Hasn't mentioned anybody from the First or the Second World War that fought for this country to give us our freedoms that we have today. Not once has he mentioned those. Because he said the word patriot twice, that's what makes this a patriotic speech. It's fucking laughable, isn't it?
Renewal is not just fixing problems in some managerial sense. That is important, of course it is.
Yes, Daniel, he is full of shit. Shout out to Daniel. Yeah, correct. 100% agree, mate.
People are very disappointed with the pace of change in government. It's so much slower than almost every other facet of their lives. So we do have to speed up. Poor delivery is a threat to mainstream politics.
The reason he's trying to speed everything up is because he wants to grasp control as soon as possible. Hence he's putting in these ID cards. Do not accept them. Go and sign the petition and fuck this bloke off.
But renewal is a deeper argument. It means demonstrating to working people.
What he's actually said so far is absolutely nothing to do with what these digital ID cards are actually about. He's been spouting shit for the last 10 minutes.
That as well as the economy, the state is being run in their interests.
You watch him, Daniel. He's a sodding robot, mate. An absolute, complete and utter robot. He has got absolutely no idea what he is doing to this country. And that 90% of this country do not want him in power. He is probably the most hated man in Great Britain at this point in time.
And that does mean we've got to look ourselves in the mirror.
And he doesn't even know
and
that.
recognise where we've allowed our parties to shy away from people's concerns and let the politics of purity patronise people.
The thing is, people are spouting what they're concerned about: immigration, utility bills, jobs, things like that. And guess what, Keir? You're doing fuck all about it. You think you're going to solve all this with this bastard ID card? Get real. All you have to do is look at Germany, Italy, France. That has not solved immigration. And earlier on in this video, I made a prediction that you will mention immigration to try and push this forward, to try and push your agenda forward.
Now, you will all have issues in your own countries. But in Britain, it's illegal migration. And I suspect that may be the same in a number of other countries. For too many years, it's been too easy for people to come here, slip into the shadow economy and remain here illegally.
Leave the ECHR then, like multiple other countries have done, and started deporting them. They didn't just bring up an ID card and say, that'll solve it, let's get in the Metropolitan Police to solve this problem.
Because, frankly, we've been squeamish about saying things that are clearly true.
What? That actually hurt. That physically hurt me. That are squeamishly true. He can't be serious. Not one word that comes out of this bloke's mouth is true. He's the one that's trying to shut down free speech and putting people in prison because of what they say on social media, because of feelings police and whatever it is they've said. Might have said a few hurty words which just happened to be true. They class it as bullying now, the truth, apparently.
It's not just that it's not compassionate left-wing politics to rely on labour that exploits foreign workers and undercuts fair wages, but the simple fact that
exploits foreign workers. You think you're exploiting them when they're coming across on a boat with no passport, entering this country illegally, getting put in a 4-star hotel, being given a pair of Nike Air 180s, a full Nike Air tracksuit, HMV vouchers, 3 meals a day, free cigarettes, free bus travel, and free fucking everything else, all at the taxpayer's expense. Okay then, Keir.
Every nation needs to have control over its borders. We do need to know who is in our country. Our immigration system does need to be fair if we want to maintain that.
We do need to know who is in our country. Now, the prediction that I made was correct. He's going to try and use immigration to push in this ID card. I'm going to make another prediction. I think this is going to fucking backfire spectacularly to the point that Keir Starmer might actually lose his job.
Binding contract that our politics is built on. Otherwise, it undermines trust, undermines people's faith that we're on their side.
I'll read some of the comments at the end of this live stream, guys.
And their belief that the state can and will work for them. And that is why today I am announcing this government will make a new free of charge digital ID.
There you go. Oh, and don't worry, it's free of charge. We're going to give you something you do not want free of charge. It won't cost you a penny, so no need to worry. It's free. It's all free, so we can spy on you and watch every single thing you do, everything you say, every single penny that comes in and out of your bank account, everything you buy from your local shop. Let's just introduce a nice little social credit scoring system as well while we're at it. You know, let's weaponise the absolute shit out of it. So we've got a Stasi state with Keir Starmer and this Labour government.
Mandatory for the right to work by the end of this parliament.
Mandatory.
Let me spell that out.
Mandatory, meaning you will have to have it. You're going to be forced to have this app on your phone. Digital ID. Do not download or anything. If I have to, I will go out and buy a Nokia 3310 and use that. Rather than have this ID, I will get rid of my Samsung and I will go out and buy an old mobile phone. Quick investment idea here. Everybody go out and find all these mobile phones that we used to use. The ones with just the SIM chip in, the Nokia without the colour screens on and stuff. Go out and buy as many of them as you can because people are going to want them.
Be able to work in the United Kingdom if you do not have digital ID.
Right, let me make this clear, okay? Do you seriously think that someone's entered the country illegally, gone and staying in a hotel illegally, and before anybody says that hasn't happened, that's exactly what happened over at Epping, which is why they put in the court order for the Epping hotel and the government had to step in because it was illegal for them illegal migrants to be staying there. There's two illegal words. Do you think that's going to stop them illegally working? So what happens is somebody that's legal goes to Deliveroo, puts their details in and then lets the mate go on the bike and then fucking gives them half the wages. It's called cash in hand, Keir. It's called cash in hand. You think an ID card is going to stop it? It hasn't worked in France. It hasn't worked in Germany. So what makes you think it's going to work here? What special power do you have that's going to make this digital ID card actually work?
It's as simple as that.
No, it isn't.
Because decent, pragmatic, fair-minded people, they want us to tackle the issues.
Decent, pragmatic, fair-minded people. Mostly unlike the far left and this Stasi bastard stood in front of those microphones right there on the screen.
That they see around them. And of course the truth is, we won't...
That's the idea, Col. They can take your cash. With the social credit score system, if you say something against the government, they will be able to stop your benefits if you're on benefits. They will be able to basically stop it so they can shut you down, your social media, everything, every point of contact. They'll be able to stop you leaving your house. They will be able... What do you think ULEZ was all about? What do you think all these other bits that they're trying to get information on about? And this is all going to be stored on one data bank, which is going to be easier to hack than a Facebook account. A 9-year-old will be able to get that information. This is disgusting. This is the biggest thing that's happened in British politics for years.
Solve our problems if we don't also take on the root causes, looking upstream to tackle poverty, conflict, climate change, issues
Net zero.
that aren't just intolerable for those of us who care.
This government's intolerable. Absolutely
About inequality and injustice wherever it's found in the world, but which have clear consequences for our own citizens. Take Russia's aggression in Ukraine. We all have a responsibility for the future.
So you're talking about Russia and the aggression in the Ukraine. Yes, correct, that is wrong, considering Keir Starmer likes young Ukrainian boys. But that's besides the point. Besides the point, I don't think we should be using Russia as an example here, considering you're trying to turn Great Britain into Russia with ID cards and this Stasi way of thinking that you are using. Hypocrite.
Future of our continent to stand.
Let's get fiscal. Lesson 3, savings gains. Setting up your financial future.
About energy security.
You wouldn't know what to do with the energy security if it jumped up and kicked you square in the balls if you had any, Keir Starmer. You're just basically wanting to take farmers' land off them. The more land you own, the more money you've got, the more flaming solar panels and wind farms you can put up, when what we actually need is nuclear power, fracking and drilling. That's what we need. We are such a small island. Our carbon footprint is minute compared to America, India, Australia and all these other massive countries that are not doing net zero.
Because Putin and other tyrants have used their control over energy supplies as a threat. They've pushed up energy bills, threatened to keep doing so unless they get their way. And
correction, you've pushed up energy bills because you will not implement fracking, drilling and everything else. So get it right. You could have done that months ago to bring down energy. You said you was going to bring down energy in the manifesto and it's actually gone up just before Christmas. Yet again, another fucking lie.
That's why we're investing in our own energy, sovereign control over our own future, whether that's nuclear, wind, solar power. Now, this will create good jobs, but it will also take the boot of tyrants like Putin off our throat. So our mission to become a clean energy superpower.
So when are you going to take the boot off the foot of the British people's throat, Keir Starmer?
Is about future-proofing energy supply, bringing energy bills down and protecting the planet that we all live on, doing right by our values and by our countries and our citizens. Because in this era, we must be the nation builders. We must be the patriots in our countries.
You don't know the meaning of the word patriot, do you, Keir Starmer? You have not got the bloody foggiest.
We must show working people that we and only we can deliver the pride and belonging they seek. Their communities strong, cohesive, change for the better.
With a racist government against the white British Christian population of this country that doesn't like it flying its own flag by calling it far right, fascist, racist and Nazi. That isn't danger enabling anybody, is it, Keir Starmer? Of course it isn't, because the government actually fund Just Stop Racism, don't they? Diane Abbott? Maybe? Go and look on Wikipedia, it's all there for you to find, out in the public domain. That's if you don't have to enter face recognition to actually do it with the online safety bill that Keir Starmer has weaponised, that the Tories put in.
Taking control of our future, tackling the big challenges.
Taking control of people's lives, Keir, not the future.
Climate change or illegal migration.
This guy actually believes he's going to win the next election. I don't know what else to say to that.
Not shying away from them. That is how we win. That is how we rebuild. That's how renewal defeats grievance.
He was definitely the last person when he was at school in the PE team that got chosen, wasn't he? Let's be honest.
Thank you very much for listening. Thank you very much for being here. I really appreciate it. Thank you very much.
So we've just been told by the leader of the Labour Party, Keir Starmer, that we will all have to have mandatory ID cards via an app on our mobile phone so they can look into your banking finances. They will be able to use it for facial recognition. They will be able to use it to track where you are going, what you are doing, what you are saying, everything. Now China have something very different, very similar. And what they do is they introduced something called a social credit scoring system, which basically means if you said anything bad about the government, They would lower your social credit score, meaning you wouldn't have as many finances, you wouldn't be able to do certain things. They can restrict your movement and everything. How hard do you think it would be for the government to put in placement another lockdown like the ones we had in COVID? This is absolutely fucking shocking. It's disgusting. It's wrong. And we need to fight this where we can fight it. I'm just going to go through some of these comments. We had... Somebody asked me, how's it going, fella? It's going absolutely fine, mate. Thank you very much. He's a bum bandit. Yeah, he likes the young Ukrainian boys. We all know that now. That was out in the open. We've got somebody that's got a hidden comment, which I won't read out because I don't want to get demonetised on that. I ain't got a phone, so hopefully they won't be able to get... You see, the thing is, what they'll do is they'll try and make you get a phone, because if you don't have this on a phone of some description, they'll be able to fine you. Check it out. It's real. Yeah, no cash. No cash next. It'll all be V-Bucks. Yeah, well. Drill, baby, drill. Starmer calling out other leaders for being tyrants. Yes, exactly. That's Chrissy Boy saying that. Anyway, this has been Street Switch Photography. This was the video that I actually wanted to get out today. It was quite an important one. If you like this video, please like. Make sure you subscribe so you get my next video. I will be doing some coverage on this a little bit later to get other people's reactions from what I observe on YouTube and other media platforms like Rumble. So yeah, please go and hit that notification bell, hit the subscribe button so I know that I'm getting the subscribers in and stuff, and I'll hopefully see you in the next video. Goodbye for now and enjoy the rest of your day.
Street Switch Photography.